Ambassador Bill Taylor, the top American diplomat in Ukraine, decades of diplomatic experience under presidents of both parties. When he was called to testify before the impeachment proceedings recently, we knew shortly after he showed up, when we got his opening statement, we knew he would confirm that, yes, President Trump really did block military aid to Ukraine to get that country to gin up some dirt on his domestic political rivals. That quid pro quo plot line is very simple, very consistent across all the testimony from all the witnesses so far. Taylor is the one who first laid it out more clearly than anybody else. Because that plot line is simple and direct and now been reiterated by all of the other witnesses, to be honest, you don't necessarily need all the details that we got from the 324-page long transcript of Bill Taylor's testimony that the impeachment committee's released today. But even if you don't need it, you might want some of these details anyway. For example, there is this moment when Ambassador Taylor is describing the National Security Council having to convene a whole bunch of interagency meetings to try to figure out why the military aid to Ukraine is being held up. Taylor says in his testimony that literally everyone was in agreement that that military aid should be released without delay. The defense secretary, CIA director, national security advisor, everybody wants the aid released. So they're all scheduling meetings, trying to get the president to release this stuff, trying to figure it out. But it turned out they were having trouble scheduling a meeting with the president to talk about this matter for a very specific reason. Taylor says, quote, "I think this was also about the time of the Greenland question, about purchasing Greenland, which took up a lot of energy in the National Security Council." Chairman Adam Schiff, okay, that's disturbing for a whole different reason. The president is trying to shake down a foreign leader for dirt on his political opponents. He's holding up military aid to try to force them to do it. And his National Security Council can't find the time to get him to stop doing that because they're all too busy dealing with his stated efforts to buy a whole different country, to buy it. That's a good day at the Trump White House. So there's that. But then there's also the human reaction from these witnesses, who, again, are mostly longtime public servants and experts in their field. At one point in his testimony, New York Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney asks Ambassador Bill Taylor, quote, "What was your emotional reaction to these events?" And Taylor gives a pretty stunning response. He says, quote, "I think Ukraine is important objectively to the United States. The emotional piece is based on my time in Ukraine in 2006, 2009, when traveling around the country, I got to know Ukrainians and their frustrations and difficulties and those kinds of things. And then coming back and seeing it now where they have the opportunity. They got a young president, a young prime minister, a young parliament. The prime minister is 35 years old. This new government has appealed to young people who are so idealistic, so pro-West, so pro-United States, pro-Europe, that I feel an emotional attachment, bond, connection to this country and these people. I cared about this country. I didn't want to see it screwed up. I wanted to see it succeed." Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney says, quote, "And you didn't want to see it screwed up by some political agenda coming from Washington? Is that fair to say?" Ambassador Taylor says, "Well, what I didn't want to do was have U.S. assistance to Ukraine blocked or suspended for no good reason that I could see. And there are some bad reasons that I didn't want to see that blocked." Bill Taylor is going to be the first witness in the public testimony that has just been announced in the impeachment proceedings for 1 week from today. Congressman Sean Patrick Maloney joins us next.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.